Tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
The Associated Student Government's president and vice president may face impeachment after new evidence emerges in an election scandal.
A new Chicago ordinance may change ride sharing in the city.
And some Northwestern students shave to save.
All those stories and more
coming up next on the Northwestern News Report. It's your news right now.
I'm Maddie Coe.
And I'm Jordan Tilley. Thanks for joining us. Less than 24 hours after Christina Salento and Max Vinson were sworn in as Associated Student Government President and Vice President, the ASG Election Commission announced a possible election violation. According to the announcement, the campaign received a tip that they were within votes of their opponents while voting was still open, possibly giving them an advantage in securing a victory. Yesterday, the ASG Election Commission released a statement determining that Salento and Vinson did violate election rules. NNN's ASG correspondent Andrew Merica has been following the story. Andrew?
Thanks, Jordan. The Christina and Max campaign initially reported that they were given unsolicited information from an Election Commission member at noon on the Friday of the election. An initial investigation by the ASG Election Commission found that the campaign did nothing wrong. After the commission learned that the campaign received information a second time, a new investigation came to a very different conclusion. Commission member who leaked the information to the Christina and Max campaign. Election Commissioner Lauren Thomas explained Corcoran's actions.
The first time he bumped into Christina and told her that the election was close or extremely close, something like that. The second time, he sent her a Facebook message and said the campaign is within 5 votes or within 5 votes.
According to Thomas, the Christina and Max campaign told supporters that the election would be close all day. It was when the campaign started to tell supporters specific information about the voting margin that it broke the rules. In a screenshot obtained by NNN, a Christina and Max supporter reached out to a possible voter by saying, quote, "I've gotten word that C&M are a little behind."
When they said stuff like it's really close, or when they said stuff like it's 5 votes, that was the concerning part.
A statement released by the Election Commission yesterday concluded that even though Salento and Vinson did not request the voting margin information, Corcoran's actions indicated that he acted as a member of their campaign. Quote, "The campaign violated Section 1E of the election guidelines. Campaign personnel may not serve on the Election Commission." The statement went on to say that the Commission recommends that the ASG Committee on the Rules levies punishment on Salento and Vinson that could include, quote, impeachment, probation, removal from office, public apology, or more.
It was not an accident by Kevin. He meant to tell them this information. I've gone back and looked at what the chat and what we've talked about. It was not an accident. He meant to tell them this.
In a statement, Salento said, quote, "While we disagree with the Election Commission's decision to issue us a violation, we have nothing but respect for Lauren Thomas, the entire Election Commission, and this process. We recognize we were not forthright in disclosing this information and apologize to the student body for that. We look forward to working with the Rules Committee in proceedings that may follow and will share our perspective with the committee to ensure students can trust ASG." Thomas said that she is looking into legislation to establish a task force, possibly including ASG presidential candidate Joji Syed, to prevent this type of incident from happening in the future. Syed did not want to comment on the possibility of her serving on a task force, but she did give a statement on the larger issue.
It's pretty unfortunate that a violation occurred, but I trust the Rules Committee to handle the situation moving forward and hope that for the future of ASG, this matter can be handled fairly.
Regarding the task force, Thomas said it could introduce more binding legislation on who has access to information during an election, similar to how Mayfest handles Dillo Day artists. Before that, tomorrow at 5:30, the ASG Committee on the Rules will hold a private hearing to discuss what the punishment for Salento and Vinson should be. All eyes will be on the weekly ASG meeting that will follow, where the findings are expected to be announced. We will be at that meeting and will provide live updates on our Facebook and Twitter feeds at NNN_news.
A recent effort by a Greek organization on campus to establish a scholarship leads to questions about inclusivity with a popular student fundraising platform. NNN's Caitlin Boudreau investigated the issue.
Groups on campus raised tens of thousands of dollars using Northwestern's Catalyzer. The crowdfunding operation run by the Northwestern Alumni Association connects student organizations to Northwestern alumni to seek donations. But when Kappa Delta's Pan-Hellenic delegate Faye Wang applied to fundraise through Catalyzer, she was turned away.
And I reached out to the PHA office to make sure we weren't overlapping with the Catalyzer they were planning, and they told us that we're actually not allowed to set up our own Catalyzer for anything that's not for a building owned by the university.
In order to fundraise with the Northwestern Alumni Association, donations must be considered charitable to the university. Because most sorority houses are owned by the sororities themselves and not Northwestern, these organizations are not given access to the greater alumni network. Other crowdfunding sites like Indiegogo and Kickstarter take a portion of the money groups raise, but Catalyzer allows groups to keep all of the donations. Grace Hamilton Virgo, fundraising chair of the Dolphin Show, said because Catalyzer gives student groups access to alumni, campaigns are able to raise significantly more money.
There's really an access to this, this purple mafia and this purple family, this huge alumni network that you just don't get when you're a bunch of students sort of shouting into the annals of the internet saying, "Give me money." It's got a framework and it's got a structure.
Kappa Delta wanted to launch a Catalyzer campaign to raise scholarship funds to make the sorority more accessible to lower-income women on campus. Caitlin Boudreau, Northwestern News Report.
Earlier this afternoon, the Office of Alumni Relations and Development responded to our request for comment. They said the university can only accept gifts that support university-owned buildings. Additionally, all scholarship contributions must be administered by the Office of Financial Aid.
Do you normally Uber to your weekend plans? Well, the city is making changes riders and drivers may want to know about. We asked NNN's Eric Miller to find out more.
Whether you're headed to North Campus or downtown, how you get there may be changing. Ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft may be facing tough new regulations now before the Chicago City Council.
For rideshare drivers, this new ordinance would mean inspections, background checks, and having to buy a $300 chauffeur's license.
The city will also have the ability to cap surge pricing, the increased fares charged during peak demand. Uber has been vocal in its opposition to the new regulations. In a statement released on its website, Uber says the changes will deny Chicagoans transportation choices and flexible work, and would spell the end of ride-sharing in Chicago as we know it today. For Uber drivers like Abdul Pirzada, the new rules may mean some tough choices.
I'm a retired person and I'm paying my mortgage, and there's a very heavy mortgage on me, and I'm not getting that much of my Social Security. So I have to go for extra money to pay my mortgage and my other expenses, the bills and everything.
And for students like School of Education and Social Policy sophomore Kim Keating, who often relies on Uber to get to and from work, the potential decrease in available ride shares would present a major inconvenience.
If you're in Chicago, it's easy to take taxis, but if you're in Evanston, it's not like taxis are just chilling around. So it's so much easier to just whip out your phone, hit the app, and then your Uber will be there in like a set number of minutes.
However, according to the City Council, ride shares have had far too little oversight. Regulators say the changes will improve consumer safety and the reliability of ride shares by ensuring all vehicles are inspected and all drivers are city licensed. Councilors expect to vote on the ordinance in the next few days. Eric Miller, Northwestern News Report.
This change could affect more than just the city of Chicago. The Illinois state legislature is considering rideshare regulations as well.
When we come back, Sexual Assault Awareness Month brings an art exhibit to campus.
I'm Bria Calpin, and coming up, I'll have your 5-day weather forecast.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory. Sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
Why spend your entire life looking for some on-ramp to the road to opportunity when there's already a well-traveled path? So you may be wondering, what does that path look like? Is it paved with gold? Well, here's a hint. It's actually paved with purple. Northwestern University. Your road starts here.
On Wednesday, don't hesitate to leave your jacket at home, for temperatures will reach a high of 65 and a low of 54. But don't forget your umbrella, because PM showers are expected. The showers will push on into Thursday, and so will the heat, with a high of 64 and a low of 43. Though the sun will be out and shining with partly cloudy skies on Friday, you might need a light sweater, as temperatures will drop to a high of 50 and a low of 42. But don't get too discouraged, as the heat will return on Saturday with a high of 61 and a low of 46 and mostly sunny skies. After 2 days of sunshine, the weekend will finish out with showers and temperatures at a high of 54 and a low of 46. So don't be afraid to use the wet weather as an excuse to stay in, relax, and maybe even catch up on your favorite TV shows. I'm Bria Calpin, and this has been your 5-day weather forecast.
Northwestern Center for Awareness, Response, and Education, CARE, has been holding events in honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Last week, CARE brought the Clothesline Project to campus. The initiative is a national movement addressing violence against women. Survivors of sexual assault and their allies decorated shirts to express their emotions. The t-shirts were then hung on a rack, serving as a visual representation of their traumatic experiences. CARE staff manned tables at the event, offering support to students and answering questions. Susie Campbell, CARE's administrative assistant, said it's important to acknowledge the diversity of sexual assault survivors.
I think it's important to not just hear that survivors exist on campus, but to hear their voice. And their voice can come in many different forms and many different expressions. And I think this art exhibit is a wonderful way to see just how much survivors are impacted by what they've gone through.
The exhibit also featured survival and anti-sexual violence art, along with Northwestern's Speak for Change's Unity Project, an effort to normalize talking about sex. CARE co-sponsored the exhibit with Northwestern's Women's Health Center. CARE programming continues through this month and will include the annual Take Back the Night March this Thursday.
NU Sex Week held its annual programming last week as well. The group organized panel discussions and workshops to promote sexual dialogue on campus. Northwestern students had open conversations about sex with university professors and guest speakers from Monday to Friday. The discussions covered topics including race, sexuality, and feminism. Some also participated in burlesque class and attended a film screening. The week ended with a workshop by Auntie Angel, an intimacy expert with a popular YouTube channel. SASB senior Christina Polenica, co-director of Sex Week, said the main purpose of the whole week's lineup is to encourage honest dialogue about sex.
Really not feel afraid, normalize talking about sex, because almost everyone does it and we shouldn't be ashamed.
This was the 10th annual Sex Week at Northwestern.
We wanted to know what you think about Sex Week. We asked you about it in this week's edition of Rock Talk.
I think it's a really good idea because it's prevalent on our campus, and if we don't talk about it, no one's going to feel comfortable discussing some of the problems that they're having or just certain aspects they don't understand.
I think seeing like the rock painted with different things is kind of funny for us, but maybe not for some like incoming students and their parents. So overall, I think it's a good idea. It's important to talk about. Maybe the timing should be a different time.
I think it's really important just to spread awareness so that everyone's having safe, consensual sex.
I think it was like a really good move for the university because like it was just they were trying to destigmatize like sex on campus.
If you have an idea for a future Rock Talk topic, tweet at us at @NNN_news.
And after the break, Evanston sees some changes to its restaurant scene.
At Northwestern, we're wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
Known as the dining capital of the North Shore, Evanston eateries bring in people from all across the Chicago area. La Cocinita, a new Venezuelan restaurant, has officially opened its doors. Isa Gutierrez has more.
I just turned around and told Rachel, hey, want to open up a food truck? And 3 months later, we had our first truck in New Orleans.
It started as a food truck, and now 5 years later, Benoit Angulo and his wife Rachel just opened their first Venezuelan restaurant in the heart of Evanston.
It's inspired by what I grew up with. It's our twist on Latin American food, and it just adds diversity to Evanston.
La Cocinita serves tacos, arepas, empanadas, and a Venezuelan-inspired brunch menu on weekends. But beyond the menu, the pair says their family is what makes their business unique.
My name is Jack.
It's also, just really exciting for us because it's something that we're so proud of that we've built together. He handles, everything in the kitchen. I taste everything and give my feedback from more of a consumer standpoint. We make a good team.
La Cocinita is located on Chicago, just a couple blocks away from the Northwestern campus. It's across the street from the Whole Foods, just a couple doors down from Caffeine, a popular student coffee shop. And if you look in front of the storefront, La Cocinita's food truck, which you can catch driving around the city on weekdays. Inside, Northwestern students take their first bites of what La Cocinita has to offer.
The food was very, very good. I've never had Venezuelan food before.
Awesome, great textures, great flavors. I dug it.
My parents are from Venezuela, so I grew up eating cachapitas and arepas and all that stuff on a weekly basis. And I got the cachapa with the fried egg on top and beef, and I've never had it with stuff on top before, but it was all really good, really delicious.
Even with the addition of La Cocinita, Evanston residents have one less restaurant to eat at following the abrupt closing of Dave's Italian Kitchen, an Evanston staple. We asked NNN's Margaret Korn to find out more about this growing trend.
Evanston is undergoing a food makeover. Nearly 7 new restaurants opened last fall, but recently 2 well-known restaurants, Dave's Italian Kitchen and Arlen's Chicken, closed their doors.
Dave's Italian Kitchen has been a landmark, and to go there and grab your carbonara, the beautiful carbonara pasta or a pizza, was just delightful. And everyone was quite shocked to hear that they'd closed. There didn't seem to be any warning. So watching an institution in Evanston close, it's been pretty sad.
Dave's Italian Kitchen was owned and operated by Dave and Ellen Glatt, both of whom received keys to the city as a result of their restaurant's work for the community.
I wish they would have decided to let someone buy it and take over the business, just because it is a landmark here.
While many Evanston residents enjoyed dining in at Dave's, starting in 2012, the restaurant began donating meals to low-income residents. Another restaurant, Arlen's Chicken, recently closed after opening this November. David Morton and Michael Cornick started the restaurant after the May closure of their eatery, DMK Burger and Fish. Madeline Hertz, a School of Communication freshman, said for her, dining out means more than just good food.
When you go out to eat at a restaurant, you want it to be a nice experience. You can just order food in and stay in your house, but if you actually go out, that atmosphere is part of what you're paying for.
Margaret Korn, Northwestern News Report.
Despite the closure of these two dining establishments, Southern-style Dixie Kitchen and Bait Shop will return to its previous location under new management.
And coming up next, the men's tennis team made program history this weekend. See how next.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Welcome back, and we're here with Ariel Schwartz from Sports. So Ariel, how are the Cats doing this week?
The Cats have been dominating the fields and courts so far this week. The men's tennis team has been looking especially skilled, defeating Michigan State on Sunday. This marked their 23rd win for the year, tying the single-season program record for wins. Let's take a look at the highlights. It was a sunny 77-degree day, perfect day for an outside match. Last point for Sam Shropshire. He returns it and goes on to win his match 6-4. Mihir Kumar playing his last final regular season home match. A long rally here. Kumar returns it and gets the point, putting him up 15-0. Kumar now up 40-love. Kumar returns it and wins just short of a shutout victory 6-1. Kumar was recognized on senior day ceremony before the match. Sean Kirchheimer playing the last match for the Cats, looking like a tough rally, but Kirchheimer hits a overhead shot to win his match 6-1, 6-1. This was Kirchheimer's 25th win of the season, leading the team in wins. The Wildcats finished their last match strong 4-0. The Wildcats went undefeated in home wins this year 14-0. Now that is a season sweep. The Cats will play their last match on Friday in Buckeye territory. Now over to the fields for women's lacrosse. The number 12 ranked Northwestern team clutched a victory over Rutgers on Sunday. Senior Kelly Craig carried the team, scoring a career high of 6 goals. The victory led the team to improve in 2-1 in Big Ten play. Beautiful game day on Lake Michigan. Selena Lasota with a pass to freshman Layden Yanor. She shoots it and scores, Cats up 2-0. Christina Esposito with the ball. She shoots it in. Northwestern up 3-1. A little squabble here. Lasota picks it up and she takes it up the field. Sprinting right up to the net, she scores. Cats are now 8-3. Lasota, who made 2 goals in the game, scored her 100th career goal in the first half. Lasota making a move to the left side of the net. She tries a backhanded shot and scores. The Cats are now up 12-3. Esposito again with another goal. Northwestern now up by 10, 14-4, with Esposito scoring her 22nd goal of the season. Now for the play of the game. Lasota rushes up the field and scores a behind-the-back shot. Cats up 15-4 in the half. Kelly Craig with a free position shot, scoring her 6th goal of the game. Christina Dunphy shoots the ball, hits off the goalie stick and into the net, adding to the score 18-4. Northwestern on to defeat Rutgers 20-9. This was the last home game for the women's team. The Cats will go on to play in Nittany Lion territory on Saturday.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Ariel. Coming up, we'll take a look at some Northwestern students who braved the shave.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern, break right through that with our colors flying. We will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
The Northwestern chapter of St. Baldrick's, a pediatric cancer research foundation, held its inaugural shaving event at Seabury this past weekend.
3 months after founding the Northwestern chapter, St. Baldrick's recruited its first Northwestern participants to shave their heads for childhood cancer research. Each participant fundraises to support the organization.
Families and friends have come here to support the participants. However, they can also sign up on-site to join the cause.
Newly elected AISG President Christina Slento brought her mother and grandfather. The 3 generations braved the shave together for the first time.
It's really nice, I look to my left, my grandpa's there, I look to my right, my mom is there, can reach out, and my mom was really nervous about it, so it's nice to have her there and just have that support.
Brian Liu, founder of the Northwestern chapter of St. Baldrick's, said the total number of participants exceeded the initially registered 20.
Including 2 shavies who couldn't actually commonly shave their head in a fraternity house, and at WAB the week before, we shaved 26 heads in total.
Slento added that the head shaving event is a great opportunity to raise awareness on campus for childhood cancer.
Very few people walking around campus with these sorts of heads, but hopefully people will ask me why I'm bald, and then we can spread awareness.
Isabella Jiao, Northwestern News Report.
The organization exceeded its $10,000 fundraising goal on Sunday.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight.
I'm Maddie Coe.
I'm Ariel Schwartz with sports.
And I'm Jordan Tilley. Good night.